It's time for Casey at night. Yes, just checking everything. I told you it's a one woman production, and that means I've got to check my lights. I got to check my video camera, my angles. I got to check it all cuz it's just me and you, of course. And once again, it's time for Casey at night. Hi. So this week, um, this week I'm bringing you Joanna Armstrong. But before we talk about Joanna Armstrong, I want to thank Reed. You know I don't know where this has to go, right? Like we do this every time. I want to thank Reed for letting me read Genie of Desire. Reed, NL Publications. And remember how I said that he has these Fuda stories and how I really wanted him to let me read a Fuda? I got a Fuda for us. But I'm going to make you wait for it. So sorry about that. But yes, you're going to have to wait for the Fuda because I've got so many other people on the calendar already. So I'm just going to continue to hype the Fuda. And you're going to beg me for the Fuda. And I'm going to like that a little bit. But as I mentioned, today I am bringing you not just a short story, but I'm also bringing you some poetry. And the poetry is from a lovely woman by the name of Marion Brooks. Absolutely lovely, lovely, lovely. And this is our London night because Joanna Armstrong is bringing us London Seduction. Yes, both lovely ladies are across the pond. Joanna, if you're still up, thank you for staying up. Marion, you've already explained why you can't stay up, and we're going to talk about why Marion's not staying up with us tonight. But before I get to the ladies, I want to share with you, I got an early Mother's Day gift. And I want to share because I'm so very excited about it. I'm going to do this first. This little swath of red is a clue as to what my Mother's Day gift is. So I'm going to turn it this way. And now my Mother's Day gift has a very familiar name to it. La 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 la. Yes, your girl got a pair of Christian Louboutins for Mother's Day. Early, yes I did. And I have to show them to you because I'm so in love. I'm so in love. Okay, here are my Alta Poppins. These are called Alta Poppin. Alta Poppin. Like Alta, like tall, high, and poppin', like these joints is poppin'. Yes. And I know you want to see the red heels. So here we go. It's my red bottoms. And I've already put nice clear protection on the bottom. I haven't worn them yet because I wanted y'all to see. And can I tell you, that leather is divine. Oh my God, it is so delicious. But yes, Alta Poppins. And I promise the minute I get them on my feet, I will be sharing that with you. But I just had to, even before I put them on for the first time, I just wanted to really share my Christian Louboutin Mother's Day gift. And basically talk about the fact that, oh my God, I'm misty here. Whew. Foot fetish. I have an absolute serious shoe fetish, which I have to say goes along with my friend Sean, who has a serious foot fetish. So I like these little peep toes because he's, with the folks with the foot fetish, with the little peep toes stick out, it's just like a little tease. It's like a little foot strip tease. So I can't wait to put those on and kind of walk around a little bit because there are others like myself who just happen to love the shoes. There are men who love women in high heels. And there are women who are just obsessed with the high heels or just obsessed with shoes in general. I happen to be one of them. And it's I don't know, it's one of my many fetishes, I must say. But I digress. Because I want to jump right in with tonight's offerings, mainly because quiet as is kept, while I do write erotica, I am somewhat of a romantic. And there's this concept that I came across that I have very freely kind of made my own, which is something I call the sexual rainbow. And it's a kind of a span of colors that according to Netscape describe, each one of these colors describes a different sexual type. And it goes from black to white, black being your more extreme kind of fetish, erotica, BDSM, things like that. Don't mind me while I make some minor adjustments here. And then to the white, which is more of your, say, virgin, timid, not quite, doesn't really kind of like it very much, but kind of does it because, and they do it in their clothes, shower before and after, in the dark. It's total extreme when it comes to the sex, as you would imagine, if you're if you're in that black realm and in that white realm. And from time to time in the past, I would post banners that have these indicators of the various colors. You'll notice that my books, the book covers themselves, the backgrounds will be black and red, brown. I have a blue coming out. I have an orange coming out. And I have a story that I got from a writer that's a green. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to kind of introduce you a little bit more to the sexual rainbow and kind of, in my own opinion, kind of tell you where some of these stories lie. So, for example, I'm going to read Marion's poem, and Marion's poem is quite romantic. It's it's something she wrote for her sweetheart. And as a matter of fact, speaking of that, today is Marion's 20th anniversary to Marcus Brooks, who is on Twitter at Marcus Brooks. So, and he's actually kind of hot. I didn't mention that to you before, Marion. I finally took a peek at Mr. Marcus, and yeah, I'd be with that for 20 years plus too. So let me introduce you to Marion. Let me introduce you to Marion's love for Marcus via Lyrical. It goes like this. It's not a poem, really. It's more of a song of our love. We are bound together, you and I. And when I look into your eyes, I see the world. And you and I are together there. We shall travel, not just the world, but the journey of our love together. In your eyes, bluey green, with the taste of sea and salt air and magic and dreams and dragons is love. And I am bound to you by those eyes. Oh, sweet, I cannot find the words, but that I love you. Our time together, our love, our unity, our life. These things I want so badly to thrive, while others fail around us, and love is made and lost. While the world makes claims on us that sometimes seem too strong, let these things be nothing to our love, nothing. My dearest wish is to be old with you someday, and to look into your eyes and taste the sea and salt air, and dream and laugh and remember and love. Marion Brooks, is she not? I can't even. I mean, she said, when I told her that I read it and that I absolutely had to read it to all of you, she said that she wrote it about her sweetheart. And that after 20 years, as she put it, and she may kill me for saying this, but you should have not told me this because I just thought it was wonderful. After 20 years of being together, she said they still fuck like tigers, which, you know, when I read that poem, I can feel how she feels for him. Very romantic, very kind of caught up, the imagery, and I happen to be a big fan of the beach, as we all know. So, you know, when you talk about the sea and the salt air and all of that, it just takes me somewhere. And I'm kind of corny, you know, like I said, I live kind of more in that more bold end of the sexual rainbow spectrum, but there is a romantic in me that loves the mushy. Every now and then I just love the mushy, and Marion's story, her poem, just really took me there. So I'm gonna give you a little bit more Marion in a couple of weeks, but I just had to introduce it. It was just so moving to me. And Marion's bio, because I told you, once I get on a roll, I get all Kendra and I just go somewhere else. So let me get Marion's bio out there. So Marion Brook is an erotic adventuress, poet and author of the Linden Grove series. Lover, wife, mother, daughter, sister. She's an ordinary woman with an exceptional tale. The need to write erotica authentically exposed her to an astonishing world of desire, of sexual freedom, temptation, and erotic quest. Not merely in the playgrounds of London, but lurking just under the skin of each and every one of us. Our own erotic stories symbolize who we are and what we allow ourselves to be. She found that awakening this story, questioning it, and even altering it can be radically empowering. Could sex be the key to happiness? Perhaps, perhaps not. But it might just be a lot of fun finding out. Come join Marion in the Linden Grove. Meet the members of the club, delve into their lives, and explore their sexual stories. Take a journey, if you dare, one where you might discover a lot more than you expect. Tonight, Marion celebrates 20 years of wedded bliss. Yay, Marion and Marcus! Again, I loved the way she expressed her feelings for Marcus in this poem. And this is what she writes. And if you go to Marion, at Marion T. Brooks, if you go to Marion's Twitter page, there's a link that will take you to her stories, because Marion's not published as of right now. So there's a link on her Twitter that will take you to her stories. And this is what she wrote about this particular poem. He was gone, and I missed him dearly. This expression of love came complete and flowed naturally from my heart. I tried to polish. I tried to punctuate, but it wouldn't have it. It is what it is. Thankfully, he is still mine. Okay, do we not all want, excuse me, what she just described? I mean, really, Marion, you're killing me, okay? I just thought it was absolutely, absolutely beautiful the way you expressed your feelings for Marcus. And like I said, we should all be so fortunate that we can love on that level. So now, as I prepare to find my next story, just bear with me a little bit here. Told you, one woman production. Got to do everything myself. Okay. And so we are now ready for hold on. I'm gonna have to flip myself off the screen. I don't want to do that, but I got to. All right, we are now ready for London Seduction by Joanna Armstrong. Hold on, because I want to make sure I give these folks their proper credit. So it's Marion. Please check out the rest of Marion's product, Marion's stories, and Joanna. And I will be putting these up again. So, London Seduction begins. You approach the hotel. You've passed it so many times, but never ventured inside. Your heels click as you climb the 3 steps to the entrance, the doorman greeting you with a warm smile as you step from the bitter December afternoon into the cozy heat of the reception area. You've kept it simple for tonight. A clingy gold and black batwing dress, its skirt a little on the short side, barely black hold-ups paired with a deliciously sexy silk underwear, black suede high-heeled court shoes, and topped off with a fur coat and a hat to ward off the biting northeasterly wind, which is cutting through the capital, carrying with it the threat of snow. You look around, getting your bearings, checking out the little knots of guests seated around the lounge area. She's not here. You clip across the stone floor to the reception to the cloakroom desk and inquire about leaving your coat and hat as you are meeting someone in the bar. The concierge is most helpful, taking both items and handing you a cloakroom ticket. You turn and check yourself in the mirror. You've worn your hair up today, and it's survived being under the fur hat. You've aired for subtle makeup, and it too has survived the journey to the town unscathed. You take a deep breath and head into the softly lit bar. It is a pleasant space, furnished with tables and comfortable armchairs, a small bar with a smiling young waiter who nods as you enter. The walls are adorned with pictures and memorabilia from the Battle of Waterloo, giving the room the feel of a London club. You scan the chairs, looking, searching to find her. Still no sign, except a steaming cappuccino and a book open face down on the bar. You order a mineral water and perch on a bar stool, conscious of the fact that the skirt reveals more leg than perhaps you had intended. Still, it's too late to worry about that now. You sip your water in a world of your own when someone walks by you and you catch a whiff of that trademark scent. Some people like to experiment, but she only ever wears Prada amber. Strong, musky, earthy loveliness. You glance up and she has taken the seat with the coffee and book. Casual look for the afternoon. Tight white jeans, a blue and white Breton jumper, elegant scarf, and her ever-present sky-high heels. Nude suede courts today. Her hair falls over her shoulders, a dark copper. She's picked up her book, holding it in one hand, while the other brings the coffee cup to her lips. She takes a sip, replaces the cup on its saucer, and continues to read, her half-moon glasses perched on the end of her nose, and her free hand idly playing with her long hair. You cough, just a tiny one, and she looks up as if noticing your presence. You treat it to this bright smile and a little nod, and then she continues to read another sip of her coffee. You give it another 10 minutes, occasionally checking your watch and phone, and sipping your water. Then you call the young waiter over and inquire if there might have been a message left for you. He asks your name and then heads off to reception to check. Soon he returns and hands you a small folded note. By the way, he says, it's really snowing out there. Now, big flakes, and it's laying traffic's already starting to struggle. You thank him and open the note. It's a telephone message. Really sorry, can't get away. Something's come up. I'll make it up to you. M. XXX. You fold it back up. Bugger. Are you all right? She queries, a look of mild concern on her face. You look over to her. Now the game's afoot. I've been bloody stood up. Gets me all the way to London for a night out and then bottles it and leaves a message for me here instead of ringing. Oh, men. And now it's snowing too. Great. At this point, the concierge enters the bar. He clears his throat. I'm sorry to announce this, ladies and gentlemen, but it's just come on the radio that there are no more trains out of London tonight. Apparently, the snow's come down so thick and fast that they haven't been able to keep the lines clear, and traffic's ground to a halt outside too. That's just great. Marvelous. Stood up, and now I'm stranded too, with nowhere to stay. You turn to the rotund purveyor of bad news. Do you have any rooms available tonight? He shakes his head. I'm sorry, madam. We're fully booked tonight, what with Christmas parties and all. Think you might struggle to get a nice room this evening, to be honest. I can have a ring around if you like. You shrug. Please do that, would be kind. You turn back to the bar and your drink. Oh, to hell with it. Might as well salvage something from all this. I'll have a glass of Prosecco, please. You ask the young barman. She puts down her book. Make it 2, and I'll get these. You are treated to another smile. Look, I'm staying here tonight. It's a good-sized room with a fold-out bed. If you don't mind sharing a room with a total stranger. I'm Joe, by the way. You are just about to answer when the concierge returns. I'm sorry, madam. None of my usual contacts have any rooms. In fact, they're struggling to find rooms for people at the parties. It's the snow. See, it's rather scuppered everything. I'm really sorry. You look over to her. That's so kind of you. Are you sure you don't mind? Not at all, she replies. I'm here on my own business. I'd welcome the company, to be honest. It's a good book, but no substitute for good conversation. She rises and pulls her bar stool closer, bringing her now drained coffee cup and her book. The barman serves her 2 glasses of fizz. Thank you, Michael. Cheers. You touch glasses with a tiny chink and sip the delicious fizzy wine. She sat close, but not too close. Near enough to chat quietly, but not so near as to invade your space. Michael, would you be a darling and ask housekeeping if they can make up the spare bed in my room? She inquires, unless you fancy sharing. She gives an arch look and maybe the briefest of winks. You feel yourself start to color slightly and are treated to another of those smiles. Only joking, she says with a giggle. Maybe it's the wine or the heat in the bar, but you are feeling a little flushed. She has a slightly playful, slightly naughty quality that is both appealing yet somewhat unsettling at the same time. I'm booked into the restaurant tonight. I assume you'll join me. The chef here is really rather good, and the weather really is awful out there. Another smile. Well, that's very kind. Are you sure I could just have a sandwich? You've already gone to so much trouble. You reply. Nonsense. What's the point in us both sitting alone, probably being hit on by drunken businessmen, when we can have a lovely meal and a nice girly chat? Get to know each other a bit if we're going to share a room. I'll go first. I snore. Sorry. With that, she laughs out loud. Better to know now, she says, still grinning. But what I will have to do is go and change. They're not too keen on jeans in the restaurant. You, on the other hand, look just fine. She wrinkles her nose, quite deliciously so, in fact. You reply, she's flirting. You're really sure of it. And as if to confirm your suspicions, she slides her stool and whispers, with legs and a figure like yours, there is no such thing as too short. You're okay for a bit while I freshen up and change? Oh, yes, I'll be fine, I'm sure. You reply, and with that she leaves, but not without her hand leaving the slightest glance across your stocking leg. You are all of a dither. Maybe she's just being nice, a little playful. She does have a good figure, though, and she seems fun. And you have just been stood up, and you're snowed in. So a little pleasure, if that's what she's after, could be rather lovely. You decide to play along and see where it goes. You turn and look out towards reception. People are coming in and shaking snow off their coats and jackets. It must be coming down really fast now. You watch the arrivals with interest. Most appear to have been caught out by the snow's sudden arrival, and you ponder how you too would have seriously struggled if events had not taken the turn they had. You drain your glass, only to have the ever-attentive Michael remove the empty and replace it with a full one. You're about to protest, but he must sense this. Compliments of Ms. Armstrong. She said you weren't to go thirsty in her absence. He adds by means of explanation. You look at the glass. It's beautiful sparkling liquid calling to you. She's trying to get you tipsy. Yeah, you've assumed this game. Still, you eat the half strawberry on the side of the glass and take a small sip. It tastes even better than the first. That strong, earthy scent announces her return. She's right next to you. Look at this. She shows you the picture on her phone. I've not seen London look like this in years. You look, but it's not the picture that really has your attention. She's changed. The jeans and jumper replaced by a clingy, silky, cobalt blue, 3/4 sleeve, knee-length dress, nude stockings, simple black suede high stiletto court shoes, and finished off by some charming but understated jewelry. She pulls back a little. Do you like it? You nod. It's different, but works so well. Very nice. She hops back onto her bar stool, Michael producing another glass of fizz. I see Michael's been looking after you in my absence. She turns to the young man. I've booked us into the library for 8, but could you be a darling and see if the table's ready? He nods, and she turns back to you. The library's lovely, and this bar's starting to get busy. Before you know it, we'll have to shout at each other, and I do so hate being jostled when I'm trying to relax. Moments later, a waitress arrives. Your table's ready, Ms. Armstrong. If you'd like to follow me. She gestures for you to go first, and you're almost tempted to take her arm, but instead, you lead, taking the remnants of your fizz with you. The library is indeed a haven of peace, reminiscent of a London club. Light oak paneling and bookcases adorn the walls, and the lighting is low and subtle. The decor is a muted brown, enhancing the intimate feel. You are led to a table in a tucked-away corner. 2 wing chairs greet you. She gestures to the one with its back to the room. Please, she smiles, you sit, and she pushes it in for you. You're struck by the gesture, reminiscent of old-world politeness. She moves around the table and sits, lowering herself elegantly into the chair in one fluid movement, legs tightly together. None of that flopping that is more in vogue now. I hope you don't mind the seat. Force of habit. I just love to keep an eye on the action. In the light of the possible outcome of this evening, you are more than happy to have a seat in a restaurant with some pleasant company, even if you do question her motives. Menus are brought, and she orders a bottle of San Pellegrino. Glass of white, she inquires, or would you prefer red? You are still digesting the prices. White is fine, thank you. Splendid. We'll have a bottle of my usual Pinot Grigio. She looks across at you. When I said this was on my expenses, I do own the company. So provided you don't go mad, you'll be fine. I was going for fish, hence the white wine. The prawn and lobster starter is divine, and the sea bass is to die for. Trust me. You're treated to another of those smiles. Anyway, they're nice and light, easy to digest. And with that, she takes her half strawberry from her glass and seductively sucks it off its stem. That sounds lovely. I'll trust your judgment. Splendid, she beams at you, at which point the wine and water arrive. Dinner is a blur. All you remember is that you sat down at 7:45 and it's now 10:30 as you sip cappuccinos. It's just been chatter and food and more chatter. She loves to talk. But she listens too, asking questions and then actually responding to the answers. But you are the same. When you ask her something, you hang on every word because it is interesting. There are even points of silence, not pregnant pauses, but genuine, this food is too good to disturb with chit-chat. And then like a brook, it flows again. Light, fun, even in the areas that are usually uncomfortable. She calls for the bill and signs it off, pressing something into the waitress's hand with a smile. Let's go and look at the snow before we go upstairs. You leave the library and head for reception. Even with the rotating doors and curtain heater, you feel the drop in temperature. Come on, I'm sorry, it's kind of the kid in me, shall we? You both stand under the hotel's entrance canopy and look at the winter wonderland before you. It's really cold and you shiver, and with that, you feel her arms gently wrap around you. Shared bodily warmth, darling, it's the best. You push back, feeling her body, her soft breath on your neck, her hug that has turned into an oh-so-gentle caress. The scene is magical. Not a car or bus in sight. Just thick, softly falling snow, gently swirled by the bitter easterly wind that has now dropped to a light breeze. She kisses the nape of your neck, so gently it's barely perceptible. Shall we retire to the room? Her hands are still exploring your hips. Oh, yes. I think I'd like to watch this from the comfort of the warm. With that, she takes your hand and leads you back into the body of the hotel, and the waiting lift, pausing only to collect your coat and hat. You might need these tomorrow, she winks at you. The lift is empty. You're still a little unsure, so you stand with your back to her, but let her gather you in her arms, a gentle, sensual hug with her soft lips exploring your neck with feather-like kisses. She is so very gentle, and you find yourself indulging in the pure sensuality of the moment. The ding of the lift bell brings you both out of your reverie. The doors open, and there's an elderly couple waiting. They enter, looking you both up and down. As the doors close, the old lady winks at you. Have fun, girls, while you can. Life can pass you by if you don't. She winks again as another ding announces your floor. Something magical seems to have happened to both of you. We will. As the doors close, all you are left with is the memory of her and her husband, beaming and waving at you. She takes your hand. Oh, come on, let's go and have fun. Shall we? You nod. She's won. But then, of course, she was always going to win. To be continued. Yes, so I'm not giving you the next part. Ha! I'm going to make you earn it. So, yes, with Joanna's London Seduction, I've already read the next part, and it does get a little hot and steamy. However, I also need Joanna to continue giving us. This is like my Sophie and the Pantyless Wonders, who have her on notice to finish the story. So Joanna, I'm telling you, finish the story. We want you to finish the story. Because like I said, I've got the next portion, the next segment, the next installment, and it is rather something special. But we're going to make you wait, because I'm going to talk Joanna into making her installments available online so that everyone can continue to follow her journey. Because as she explained to me, she doesn't quite know where it's going to end. And as I explained to her, well, then just keep writing. There's no reason to stop. There's nothing that says you have to end because you have to end. If it keeps going, it just keeps going. So, with that said, I want to again thank Joanna for her London Seduction. And I want to thank Marion, and I want to thank Marcus as well. I want to thank Marion and Marcus. I want to thank Marion for letting me read her lyrical poetry. And I want to thank Marcus for being the inspiration to her lyrical poem. And like I said, we're going to get some more from Marion. This was just a taste, a little something different that I wanted to bring in. Because as I've said, I want to kind of give everyone a taste of everything that's out there. Next week is Bernard Foon. Harem Boy Saga. You are not ready. I've mentioned this a few times, and as I said, it is beautifully written. Beautifully written. I was enthralled with reading it. So I want to get you kind of a jump start, a head start. I want to get you to follow Bernard. And like I said, next week is going to be, I haven't decided what I want to read from his stories, because he's given me my choice. He's giving me an abundance, and now I have to choose. But I like I said, it is amazing to me, the truth of the story and the beauty of the way he tells the stories. You can tell he's got, there are some people who just have a beautiful soul, and every time he and I interact, whether it's via direct message or email. It's like you get this warmth and loveliness from him. I don't even know how to, I mean, like, literally, the only thing I can think of is to say it's like a loveliness. It's like a warmth. He's so engaging, and his story is so really beautifully written. Just amazing. Absolutely amazing. So I want to again thank Reed for letting me read Genie of Desire. And I'm going to be posting that on my website. I'm going to be putting it into my moments. And I'm going to be hyping the Fuda story. That's going to be sometime in May. In the meantime, you can catch up on all the videos on my website. That's not the website. You can catch up on all the videos on my website, CaseyCarterBooks.com. CaseyCarterBooks.com. I will post links to the website where you can catch all the videos from Des Marie, from Terry, from Des Marie, Bella Swan. Terry's gonna kill me because I just spaced out on Terry's last name. Terry G. Author, at Terry G. Author. Let's see, who else do we have? Lola. Oh, that reminds me. Dr. Lola Smith. She will be coming up soon with a lovely little piece called Made to Serve, I believe it is. And then Lola White. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm like all over the place here. And you got to bear with me because, as I told you, I get a little caught up in the stories, and I don't want to miss anybody. So I've got all my people here. I've got Sophie. So we've got Dr. Lola, who will be coming up soon. Okay, so we're going to start following Dr. Lola. And then we've got Lola White, who I've already read. Okay. And then Sophie Kincaid. Yes, Sophie and the Pantyless Wonders. And then we've got Bella Swan Books. Woohoo. And Terry G. Author. One of my first and my very first, my love. The Des Marie. Des Marie, one of the things I liked about Des Marie is when I first connected with her and she and I chatted on the phone, she like started talking to me at like 100 miles an hour, and then she apologized for talking 100 miles an hour, and honestly, I just giggled because her energy was so infectious. I just, like, her talking 100 miles an hour and then apologizing for talking 100 miles an hour and then talking about the fact that that's just who she is and how she is, I absolutely loved it. Like, normally stuff like that would drive me crazy. But when she said that's just who she is, it's like you literally get that feeling like Des is running at 100 miles an hour. That's Des Marie, and that's what it's going to be. And her energy just literally kind of oozes, that high octane energy oozed through the phone. I mean, no matter how I communicate with Des, I get that hype energy, even in those times where she seems, where she's had a rough day. There's still that energy kind of bubbling under the surface. So can you tell I just love talking about my friends? Because I think they're so wonderful and talented. And these group of people that I've discovered on Twitter, while we've not met, they are so genuine. I mean, they just really have all been very, very sharing, very caring of one another. And in a world of a bajillion writers, that is an absolute beautiful thing. And that's part of why I wanted to share this time and my energy with other writers, because it's hard to find them that want to share their time and energy. So with that being said, Once again, I want to thank you all for being with me tonight. I want to thank Joanna for sharing her story. I want to thank Marion. Happy anniversary to Marion and Marcus. Wishing you another 20 tiger fuck sex years. And I just want to say thank you again for joining me at Casey at Night. And you know how I say, I love you like a fat kid loves cake. See you next time. Bye.